Do you scoff when you hear the mention of $40 silver? What about $2,600 gold? Many people laugh it off and think it's never possible. In this video, we're going to talk about big underlying factors, major currents that have shifted that will make prices like $40 silver and $2,600 gold seem like nothing. Major shifts that have occurred in the world in just the last few years. Guys, things are changing like no other time in history, and we have to work harder and harder to stay on top of what is going on because it will have a big impact on the silver and the gold price. And I know you love to talk about silver and gold. That's why you come here to Ron's Basement. It's a big honor that you've joined me here today. Please give this video a thumbs up, and it's free to subscribe to the channel. All the content is free. Although we will say thank you to our sponsor, Fortuna Silver Mines. You can check them out at fortunasilver.com. But what are these massive changes that we're experiencing right now in the world? They're going on a worldwide basis and domestically in the United States and in many of the G7 nations. You hear all about the symptoms that cause short-term fluctuations in the silver price and the gold price. I want you to think about it like this. In the ocean, there's big currents that exist under the surface. On the top, there's waves that can be affected short-term by things like wind, boats, whatever. We're going to talk about the big currents that exist under the surface that are supportive for much higher silver and gold prices. $40 silver, $2,600 gold. One of the biggest issues, one of the biggest causes, underlying currents that will keep the precious metals prices much, much higher is geopolitical turmoil. And we have that like no other time in history right now. I'm recording this video on January 12th, 2024, and we have escalation in the war in the Middle East like we never could have imagined just a few years ago. The United States is bombing Yemen. Here, I'll read this headline to you. The Houthis are undeterred after the U.S. coalition pummels over 60 targets with Tomahawk missiles and airstrikes. The Houthis have now vowed imminent response, saying the coalition will, quote unquote, pay a heavy price. And you know, the Houthis are essentially Iran. The whole situation in the Middle East from a geopolitical perspective is a huge, huge powder keg. We've talked about that many, many times. But what is one of the biggest fundamental drivers, safe haven status of gold? That will continue to drive the price higher. And the world is not becoming a more peaceful community type organization. We are seeing strife and turmoil at a level that most of us, I'm 53 years old. I don't know how old you are, but we have never experienced this in our lifetimes. And it's going on in Europe with Ukraine. It's also going on in Asia with China and Taiwan. Guys, we have to realize, right, there's a lot of noise on the surface, but one of the biggest supportive factors for higher silver price and gold price are the safe haven asset. That means these countries that aren't getting along. When the world's not getting along, people don't trust each other. It happened during World War II, right? The United States would often require payment in gold. We're seeing it now. The central banks are the insiders of the financial world. They know more than anyone else. The world central banks are acquiring record levels of gold for a reason. Another major current that will support higher silver and gold prices are domestic issues in the United States, in the G7 nations. We have monetary issues. Yes, our friends at the Federal Reserve who have a little habit of printing money anytime a trouble period arises. We also have fiscal issues in the United States, a government that has racked up $34 trillion in debt and continues to run deficits which are absolutely mind-numbing, and we have social and political turmoil domestically within the United States like never before. Hey, those two factors alone, worldwide turmoil, domestic turmoil in the United States, are enough to propel the silver price to $40, even higher this year in 2024. Gold, I like to predict by $2,600 in May. And just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, let's talk about our old friends at JP Morgan. This one will blow your mind. They reported their 2023 profit number this morning, $50 billion. That's a new all-time world record universe high for profit made by any bank in the history of the world. What makes that so crazy is that 2023 was also a year that we had banking crisis, a horrible year for banks, supposedly. 2023 saw bank failures that were more in dollar terms than the worst year of the great financial crisis. Does any of this make any sense whatsoever? What's even crazier is when you look at that $50 billion profit number and you compare that to the $16 or $17 billion total market cap, total value of every silver mining company in the market, that means JP Morgan made 3 times as much in profit alone in 2023, 3 times more than the total value of all the silver miners. Whether you look at it on a worldwide basis, a domestic basis in the United States, or you take a crazy example like JP Morgan Chase, I think we're in for much, much higher gold and silver prices as we head through 2024. Yes, it's 2024. If you want to get your hands on some silver or gold before everybody else does, and maybe the price goes up, maybe the availability goes down, check out our sponsor, Pimbex, Pimbex, online bullion dealer, where you'll always find the best prices, the best service, the best selection, and a company you can trust. You need to discover that for yourself. Next time you're out looking to buy silver, gold, or platinum, throw Pimbex into the mix. I think you'll find out what I found out before they sponsored my channel, and that is that they check all the boxes. Hey, thank you for joining me. Don't forget, please give this video a thumbs up. That helps get the word out to more people. And subscribing is free, but most important, you take care of yourself, basement dweller. It's a big honor when you join me here, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.